Okay, so here is part 2 of completing a multi-view drawing. Now the next thing we need to do is probably complete the rest of the line work, the visible lines. Now we're going to draw a line from here up to this circle. Now here we'd have to turn off ortho, and we'd have to go actually into OSNAP, clear all, and pick tangent and say OK, and just connect tangent to that circle. Okay. So now we can go ahead and there's one other. Let's go settings, clear all. Let's go back to our endpoint, intersections, and maybe center. So now we just have to put in another circle, and I believe this one was 1 inch, so it's 0.5. Remember, it's always defaulting to a radius. And now the next things we want to do is actually take and get rid of the stuff that doesn't mean anything. So we'll trim. We can get rid of this part of the circle and probably this part and delete this. And we can blow this away. We no longer need that line. We can trim. If your geometry is good, it'll absolutely get it right at 90 degrees. We'll trim that, and there's that view. All right. We don't need these. They just marked our lines, and we're kind of set to go for our hidden line work. So now what would be the quickest way? Well, choose the hidden line layer, pick draw line. Probably at this point you could actually use OSNAP and go to settings and even turn on quadrant. So let's turn on quadrant, say OK. Now what we need to do is we need to track. We could track that down to here and then go ahead and put it in. Oops. U for undo. It doesn't. It's going over to an endpoint. It's getting attached. So it looks like that doesn't want to behave properly with all those O snaps on. Why don't we just go ahead and pull it straight down, right down here, and just do it that way. Pull them straight down and trim them. Undo. It looks like the O snap is going to get us in trouble. Let's go to settings and turn off endpoint and just leave on quadrant, and maybe just turn on ortho. Watch what we're doing now when we come down here. Click it. That's good. Again, draw a line. It's good for you to see me do this because I actually have to go through the pain of figuring out which O snap to use and which one is being more powerful and overriding things. You have to make these choices as the program doesn't necessarily do everything that you think it's going to do. All right. Again, quadrant, slide over here, take it straight through there. We don't even have to. We can just trim it later. Take it straight through it. I could have done it on the other views that way too. Okay, so now let's just go ahead and trim. So we'll go trim, right mouse click, blow those away, get rid of that stuff. And let's just get rid of this and get rid of these. And the other stuff we can just hit and delete. And we don't need any of that stuff anymore. Alright, so our hidden lines aren't small enough. We'll change their scale in just a little bit. The next thing we want to do is we want to put in the lines here that are going to be hidden lines. Now there's a couple different ways of doing it. You could put in a 45 and bounce it over and down. Or you can just think about what happened. This is not a very complex drawing. Where's the circle going to be? These are, if I copy this line, I copy it over, those are over 1/2 inch, 0.5. And I can copy this line over 3/16. And I can copy this line one more time over 3/16. And there we go. Now all I have to do is touch these two lines, put them on the hidden layer, and there we go. I can delete that, and we're set up. The drawing gets very complex. You actually have to have that 45 in there. So let me show you very quickly what that is, what it's like. You would have a line up here, and you would have a line here. Obviously, they would probably be on the object layer. Then you would draw a line up at 45 degrees, let's go ahead and turn on polar and look for 45. Looks like polar's not set on an even increment of 45. We could go up at 45. Then we could draw a line straight over here and here, and you will find that those will actually line up with what's below. Let me go ahead and go to settings and turn on intersections also, so that I can grab a hold of that intersection and come down. You can see that it absolutely did what I had wanted it to do. They do line up. I'll delete that line work, delete this stuff, and we're good to go for part 2.